Hello, everybody, and good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are on your own screens, but in our show. It's good to have you back, and it's another splendid, nice evening, Tuesday to be precise, and the sun is shining in Germany, and I'm very happy and grateful that we have Christian Peter with us as our guest for today. Hello, Christian.
Yeah. Hello, it's a great honor to be here today. Thanks very much for your invitation.
Our pleasure.
It's our pleasure, and we still have one of our chaps who is regularly accompanying us, Thomas, on the road again, and he is having the opportunity to catch some flights and come safely home to the US. Now, by saying this, you might be a bit curious about Christian. What you see is what you get, such as the experience of a competent author, such as Christian White's article, has published a book and is an often invited guest speaker on a lot of CX and marketing focused conferences, which are on premises. And he is a regular guest in a lot of podcast virtual shows like ours and on opportunities where he is talking about his most favorite topic, such as customer focus and get the customer into the focus. In his core profession, he works in a marketing department of a large German bank and has delivered with his team a lot of proof on his concepts as they won already several awards and prizes. Today, we would like to deep dive a bit, discuss and reflect with Christian what the secret sauce for the successful digitalization, transformation, and personalization could be. And logically, we are curious if we missed something. So please, the floor is yours, Christian. Talk a bit about yourself and where you live, and such as Marshall is in Chicago, myself around Frankfurt area. So where are you right now?
Okay. Well, I'm living nearby Frankfurt in the heart of Germany, and I was always responsible in sales and sales steering, sales management, and I'm always fascinated from the possibilities IT gives us to get people in move. And when I am in exchange and in collaboration and on conferences and discussions, international and across borders of industries and of countries, I realized very quickly that the most interesting part is what do we do to do it right? What have we to do it right? And where are the risks we should not, probably we are not aware still now. Can you help us, please? Or what is your opinion? And I love this international exchange with experts from other industries, countries. And out of all these experience, I was derived to write it back as a concentrate essence of all the
Mhm.
knowledge and the hints which are there. Because often when you read some papers, you get somewhere for example, for a download or something like this, they are quite on a really high level and not directly to use in practice. But I think what the readers are needing is a concrete help, a concrete decision, or examples which are grounded on the daily work they have.
Mhm.
And that is the story behind me. And I'm happy to discuss about today with you. What do you think about, and how can we do it together, make CRM for a really overwhelming experience for our customers?
That's
Excellent.
cool and excellent. And that is a real cool motivation to pinpoint on the successful stuff and write a book. And it's a lot of work as well. How long did it take you?
Yeah. It was below 3/4 and a year approximately this area, and I've written these 42 different chapters, each by one and each by each, and you can read it and you can consume it in a way and in a way you like to do. It's not like a normal literature book where you have to read from page 1 to page 250 to understand the content of the book. Because I think what I see is that every person and every responsible person is in an absolutely different situation. One person is struggling about finding the right people. The other one is struggling about how to handle it with management, and the other one is looking about, how shall I find the right partners? I have so important decisions to make. Where shall I take care about?
Yeah, that's a good one. Such as very practical focused. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that is very nice to see. And how was the reflection so far from people which are in the same line of business or in marketing? And what was their feedback towards you?
The feedback is always positive about the book. I'm very happy about it, and I have on my webpage. You can see here on my site. You can see some references as well, and they are leading from consultant companies, insurance, university, and different angles and perspectives. You can look on such an area, playground, where we are moving on. And it was this approach to write something really useful, and I think that's the reason why I am sometimes invited, like today, here in your podcast and in your great converse format to talk about, because people can take it from to their real practice, and it's quite concrete. So you can start tomorrow with this what you have heard today.
That's a cool one, and we would like to encourage everybody who is listening and sharing a question with us. Use the opportunity to ask us via LinkedIn or the Facebook accounts or YouTube, and we're happy to share your question with our guest and discuss it further on. When one is in the marketing department, and fortunately, I have had some of these challenges and roles as well in my business life, the interesting question rises: what is the difference between generic marketing and the personalization, or better, a personalized marketing? Coming from the background in the old days, roughly 23, 24 years ago, when Peppers and Rogers started with their one-to-one approach, one-to-one marketing, the one-to-one guide and playbook, and a lot of series which were taking this as a topic and still write books and give governance and expertise and guidance on that topic. The personalization caught me. What are your thoughts on how personalization has changed over the last 24 months?
I think personalization is one key to success, because when we are starting to think about from a psychological way, it is about embracing your customer and to be in a real dialogue with him, and not you are putting something in your window, you are discussing, you are in a real-time interaction with your customer. And when all companies say we are putting our customer in the middle or in the focus or in the center of all our things, it's written quite fast, and on PowerPoint you can move your customer very quickly in the center of the slide, but not in your company. And therefore, the personalization, I think it is one of the keys to convince the customer that that in your company he is right, because personalization gives you not only the possibility to address the customer right, but also to get the right touch point, to get the right message, to get the right tonality, to get the right moment, and to listen to the customer. I think many people are in outbound giving a vast amount of outbound personalized out, but real personalization follows for the next steps. What is the interaction the customer takes? How do you handle these feedback you get from? And all these interactions you have to build into a real convincing journey, so that really the customer sees this is a real advantage I have here that's much better than only receiving standardized offers. And especially when you want to get in trust with your customer in the beginning for sell more complex products in the future, I think it is about trust you have to build and you have to gain from your customer. And it's not a gift the customer gives you. It is the price worth to do real personalization in all measures to get a well-accepted customer who loves your brand.
All right. So that's personalization. What would you say is the difference between personalization and what we call hyper-personalization? Is there a difference? Is it a matter of degree? What is?
I think when you it depends on which industry you will ask. And with the words of personalization and hyper-personalization, it is when you would say it a bit negative, you could say it's one buzzword, and if it's not enough, you do a buzzword plus. You do personalization and not personal plus, and the next one will write personalization super plus. But it's not. It is a way you have to go, and for each company, they do their way from segmentation to personalization to hyper personalization. When you look in one company, but when you ask the question in general, I think it is the most important thing is that the customer is receiving a perception of, whoa, they are changing, they do it better than the competitor, or they do it better than they did in the time before.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you are used to get always hyper personalization, for example, like in a restaurant or like the coiffeur where you are going all weeks, they know you and you get always the same treatment, and you don't say anymore, whoa, that's my personalized hair today, I'm totally surprised. It is basic. So I would say give your customers the impression that your personalization is more personalized than the other companies around you, and better than you have done it before. And then you have hyper-personalization. And so I don't want to give you a definition you could use worldwide.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I mean, it's similar to what I experienced with my grocery store, or with grocery stores in general. Once upon a time, they would send out a block of coupons for whatever products it is they have that they're interested in selling. Now I get a mail with coupons in it that are specifically for things that I have bought before, and only things I have bought before. That's somewhere on that spectrum.
Let us talk about this example, because on the one part we see that they have more that your grocery had a better personalization than it has before.
Yeah.
The second point is you realize that the personalization is better. But what do? They offer you exactly the same you have bought before. As you mentioned now, I don't know the use case, but if it is like this, I would recommend to this company to bring other products as well, which are nearby this what you brought, but one level up, or an additional project. When I'm thinking, I use often the example of garden center, and when you buy there something to cut your green, why not then today it is here, you have to refresh your garden with some chemical industries. We can help you there. Or you have bought flowers in May, and probably they know you like to buy flowers for your garden in May. Pay attention to the right timing next May. Or in February, sometimes you can now start making your time and your thoughts about your garden. We think we will see you in May. Here's a coupon for May, and here are our recommendations. That would be a grocery like a voucher or coupon, but not on the product, but on the time you use it. And the moment they deliver it is exactly the best, and no other competitor will send emails on February for the garden journey, which they all are waiting for in May. Only one example which demonstrates, out of my point of view, quite well what tremendous difference you can make by only slightly moving this concept they are using.
It's a really cool one, such as it's not nasty. It's to a certain degree, we take care, we show that we know you a bit, and we think to your benefit. That is something.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And on the results, they will have add-on sales, which they not have before. And in the worst case of Marshall, he will go in the supermarket and buy the same things as before with discount. But all these things which he would have been bought anyway without the coupon as well, we don't know.
Excellent.
What is your perception and your experience, and what did you hear from the customers in your bank or within your team or from others on the frequency to contact in a personalized way potential readers, listeners, customers, and how deep might we know you quite well be the messaging that it's not getting creepy, such as they have a crystal ball, they know everything about me.
Yeah. At first, when you asked me about the bank today, I'm here in the role of the author, and yes, we have experience on this side, but today, please excuse me, I don't want to give you any information about the other use case I'm working for, but I can answer your question as well, because the question is very good and meeting the point where we need to discuss about. You mentioned the customer thinks, oh, that sounds creepy. And exactly this balance. The needle is turning to the bad part when the customer begins to say, oh, that's creepy. For example, the interval of connecting, when you write a mail, the same mail every 2 times, it is not good. It's about annoying, but it's not, oh, what do they know about me? When Marshall will leave his grocery with 1 package of toast, and seconds later he get a real-time SMS, you forgot your marmalade, he would say, oh, what's that? That's not a service, that is a surveillance I have here.
Yeah, that's stalking.
So I have a very simple tip for this, and I would recommend, think about what would you like when you are a customer?
Yeah.
What would you like? Would you like to have this toast and marmalade tip, or no? I'm sure you won't. You won't have it. You would love to have it, like the garden example as a best practice. I would recommend once more. There is fitting the time, and they pay attention on this what you have bought before, but they are not annoying you with weekly mails. It is exactly the point. You get an added value, and the combination out of added value, personalized message, I have an added value then compared without the mail or the contact point you are generating. I think this is the most relevant point. And what is good on the grocery shop is they have created additional touch points with you, because probably you are coming more often. And I think this is the chance of loyalty programs as well, that with loyalty programs you can get added touch points, not only in collecting these loyalty points, but also in changing these points in premise things or goods where you can change things. And when you handle it, probably you can look up in our store, you can really generate a real-time, physical contact in one of your branch network.
That's a cool one. And I like the approach, such as I'm more in sausages and other stuff, not so in it, but
we can do the same with sausages and ketchup. It's okay.
And mustard, yes, right. You are. Yeah. And
but that is a good thing when I want to. Sorry for interruption, but I think when you have a good idea and a good approach in your mind, you does not have to take care of the industry you use it. You will find on nearly every industry a single point fitting to this, or embracing the customer at the moment he needs it or she needs it.
Yeah, that is exactly the point. Such as the creepiness comes with when you have your mobile phone on the desk and you are looking and searching for some stuff in the most famous online shopping malls, which have their Prime
Absolutely.
Day running actually.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
and when we think about really high MarTech on a top notch, probably there are companies who have an app on the phone of their customer, and they have access to the gyro sensor of movement, and they know if the iPhone is on move now, or if it's laying on a table, or if it's laying otherwise around, or if you are doing steps in this second when the message appears. But I think when you will be transparent with your customer, it is many information the customer needs to give to you. And I'm not sure that you give really an added value, where the value for the company to collect data and the value for the customer, why did he give this permission, is in such positive way. I'm more than on Marshall's side, that is, oh, creepy.
yeah, but the good thing is that by the regional approach within one country, or if we go cross countries, so the behavior in the UK versus France versus Spain versus Latin America versus the United States to Germany or German-speaking Europe is a completely different one. Such as if you see the attitude in Latin America, where everybody is using hardcore WhatsApp for whatever you would like to use it. And we have a lot of concerns, such as, oh, did I give you a permission to use my WhatsApp contact number? Persons in very GDPR or secrecy-driven personalities might be cautious to, let's say, do not have the comfort in all ways, but have some more privacy. Whereas others say, hey guys, make my life as easy as possible. I give you everything you want. Just make me happy. Yeah.
With the sentence and this example of Brazil or South America, you are touching you are touching the example of what is personalization. As I mentioned before, you have to be better than your competitor and better than you have done before. And probably one of the Brazilian personalization would be in Germany known as creepy and otherwise around annoying or something like this. So it's quite difficult to do their general announcement. But that makes our international exchange so much interesting, and that's why I like your format so well, because it's not in one country only. You're connecting these countries, and I think that is an added value of your format you are handing here.
Thank you. That is beside of being fast, focused, flexible, and have some fun. That we would like to share their ideas with everybody who is listening and is taking the advantage that we are delivering secrecies, the secret sauce, and sharing experiences. Where would you see is the difference between what we would overall call marketing and advertising in that context? Where is advertising starting and is leaving the marketing approach?
I think when we are talking about advertising, we are more talking about external, not internal part of our own company. And the frontier may go between line and in industries, as well as we have seen it in the other points we have discussed before, like personalization. So I would change the question a bit, because is it necessary to make a frontier or border between advertising and marketing? I think the most valuable customer approach would be when it is connected and the customer is not aware about this is advertising and this is marketing. because the customer does not think, oh, today I'm using channel A, tomorrow I'm using channel B. And the customer is not thinking about, oh, that's advertising I don't like. Oh, that's marketing, I like it. It is a sum of all interactions the company has given or distributed to the customer. And these touch points in general make one impression for the whole company. And therefore, I think it is not a useful way to look now or to order it in two different boxes and say this is advertising. But I think in many companies it is a quite interesting thing how you support this with your organization, because your organization can make this division or support this division, or your organization can support the customer approach by having these units nearby.
Yeah. That is a good one, and I appreciate that you encourage us. You do not, in my words, you do not care if it is marketing or advertising, as long as it delivering a benefit to the customer, and the customer has the experience. Hey, yeah, there's something in for me. Such as I was very curious when I bought your book. I'm at least from the German edition quite convinced, and I'm happy that I have it. What is the word game you played with the ands and the ants?
Okay. At first, I sure want to show you the solution of why Ralph is handing a blue book in the page. Here I have it. The German book is on the blue one, and the English version is on the white one. So you can divide them both because the title is the same. It depends on the ends. I've seen many discussions on all around the world going about, is it better to do A or is it better to do B? And that's always the same. I hear it very often. Should we do A or should we do B? And I say, why don't you use B? Or to the people who want to use B, why don't you use A? And there are so many examples for this. I'm convinced when you have a decision you want to make between two possibilities, the best thing would be to combine the strengths you have from each of them. And probably A and B are not two components, but when you combine them, you get an overwhelming customer experience. And this was, for example, I give you some examples as I have written in the books. For example, when you want to have a team, do you look for the visionary people, or do you know for the project guided people who are handling with object KPIs and KPI results and an open OPL list or something like this? And this is on the first view, you would say, oh, two different types of people. But the great solution will be to combine these two people and these two types of people in one team, because then you can reach things no one of them would reach alone. And this is the general thought about, don't think about, is it not the end or one or the other, it is about the ends, combine them and try to use the strengths of two opposites. And that is the reason why. And I think when I have the time and I can just skip the divided paper here, I can show you one example of a museum in Kapstadt I want to show you. Give me 1 second just for the change.
Yeah, easy does it.
We always like pictures.
And we always like the interaction, Christian. So
okay.
Take care. And then,
there's one museum in Kapstadt. It has been old silos of beton and stone, and there was a place a new museum should arrive. And the question was, how do we do it? Shall we kill these old silos of beton and put it away and buy and build a new one? And they decided to combine these two strengths. They have created a new room. I show you just now behind me. I think so. Just a second.
Yeah, he's coming. Yeah.
I go just a bit to the side, and they have cut off the silos. They have created a new room. We are now standing at the floor and looking upward, and I am allowed to use this picture with a friendly allowance of the Zeitz Mocker Museum The photograph is Hafner and Crow who made this photograph. And here you can see what an overwhelming room you can create by not doing the simple thing. The simple thing would be do it away the old one and build a new one. And they created something new by combining the strengths of creativity of the artists and of the architecture which has been there on this place before. And that is one example only. I love to use this because I think it's very good transporting the idea which I have when writing the book.
Wow.
And now I will change back.
Fair enough. That's interesting. Okay. And I dropped in the area of one of the industries in the financial area, but we are also in entertaining industries such as Disney and Netflix and all these. And on behalf of, if we think to the advantage of organizations, to the advantage of non-government organizations, to utilities, automobile industry, and connected and travel, for instance, and entertainment, what is the best service delivery and how is it done? If you see through the industries, we have touched the one groceries, which I very much liked, and the gardening and the do-it-yourself area, and the scissor for cutting the grounds, and especially what you do not want to have in your foregarden. So-called Unkraut.
Yes. Yeah.
That is the real challenge. Now, how do you advise or guide, or what is your experience on some cool deliveries of the service?
At first, I don't want to put all industry in the same bucket. I'm sure concerning government, there could be a small village with very intelligent people, clever people. They have more digitalization than big countries.
Yeah.
And on the other part, there are industries and companies well known, business is running good, but they have a bad digitalization experience for the customer. You cannot say it in general. For example, the grocery of Marshall, no one would think that they have a great architecture of Martech, but probably they have one. Why not? First look at the people and not say, oh, that's not, it's only there. I will give you one example. I have realized a good experience and very fast personalization. You know, the car industry of Volvo, they are serving cars, Volvo Care, not by selling the car, but by giving like a rental. You have a full package, everything is in it. And I was gambling around the computer. It's a case of my own, and I wanted to look at how easy it is to handle about what are the prices and how much fixed rate a month it will be to drive this new calculated car. And suddenly, one click later, I got the reception. Oh, thank you very much for your order. Your car will arrive in 3 weeks in front of your door. Bye-bye. I said, oh, what did I do here? Because it was so easy to run through this journey. And very fast, I took my phone, very fast, and I called the line. And the people and the guy at the line ringing up, he greets me by name. And say, wow. Oh, do you have any problem? Can I do something for you? And I say, yes, unfortunately here I mistake. Yeah, I see. And he put some questions to be, yes, I am the person as given in, some data checks. And okay, that's all done. I send you an email. Please give us a quote that it's okay. So you don't want to have the car now, and it's done. The moment of truth was here, the moment, seconds later, or seconds after changing from interesting person to customer, all data was already concentrated that it was possible for them to handle me from an interesting line, because the line I was calling was an interest line, not a customer line.
Wow.
That was a real great experience, and it is an industry you would normally not think about that it's top-notch or at the end of all philosophy. And the second example I want to give you is travel industry like ships. In the tourism industry, when we are thinking about tourist and cruising ships, I think they have a big chance to do a really great personalization effort because they have many data. Many data they have too in banks, telcos, insurance, and many touch points they have too. But these three industries, they are more connected with I have to. And the tourism industry is I want this experience. Yes, I'm looking forward. So, in this, when we are thinking about a ship like AIDA or my ship or whatever, I don't want to name one company. It's about the industry of cruising shippings. They have a fixed time, extremely precise personalization long before boarding. All activities are booked. The payment is absolutely extremely well organized through one account. And when you have a family on board, you know this guy is paying and the other four are relaxing. And you know by booking to a theater, cinema, boat excursion or something like this, you know nearly by second when is which person on which event.
Yeah.
And you know too if you have any place empty for any other excursion. So the combination out of the needs of my customers, the wishes of my customers, and the possibilities I can serve them is directly in one analytics engine on the ship. And I would say it is nearly as important as the motor on the 7th floor below. They can do tremendous things. People are in good mood. I think that's a really interesting case. And I would probably, why not get a people from this industry to your call?
That would be interesting, especially one of my dancing instructors, no joke, real story. He has taken the opportunity because he's a big fan of cruising and having his vacation time in this luxurious environment. He is a big loyal fan. One couldn't say anything else from Cunard Line. He has been with the Q2 and the sister ships, and he has enjoyed longer and smaller trips in Europe or even across the Atlantic. And he said, it is always flashing, it is overwhelming. And now he's married, and his wife is joining in with the, let's say, the fandom of that experience, and that they have more to share and more to talk about to their friends and family. And he was very fond of that. In the moment he entered the stairs of the ship, he is in another world. And that is an experience which follows very much to your observation. It is nearly unlimited possibilities as long as a credit card is on it.
Absolutely. And when we are thinking a bit more further to the future,
yeah,
the experience you will deliver to this customer, he will spread at home. They are sharing everything by WhatsApp status and Instagram and so on. They were coming home. They are talking about, oh, I had this great experience. Do you know what happened here? I got a special over there. Try this. Don't do this. And they will talk many things about holidays. People love to talk about their holidays. So you don't have to pay for advertising when you have happy customers leaving your boat.
Yeah. This is one of the coolest word of mouth experiences one could get. Yeah,
absolutely.
As long as service is proper and the experience is good. That's why it could run into another direction. But talking about the future development and that focused one, and our beloved buzzword around these days is artificial intelligence.
Oh, I'm surprised.
Oopsala. Okay. AI is either helping or disturbing. What's your take on that one?
Or distracting.
At first, in general, AI could be, in the worst case, the next buzzword we are handling on. Yeah. Like BI, balance scorecard, dashboard, CDP, hyper-personalization, and so on and so on. But when we are talking about the usage of AI, it is so a tremendous difference between the companies who will use AI and these who won't use it. What we see at the moment is that many people and companies are trying to use AI on one point, a concrete solution. And in former times, the solution has taken 20 minutes to be solved, and with AI, it can be solved in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
This is a win of speed, but you have to have a better trained instructor who will give this information to the IT or to the tool or whatever you will think about. I think AI can help us, but at the moment it is quite, I don't want to say overestimate, because the chances are really big. But I think when you don't have clean database, you will not win with the best AI. When you don't have the people who love to work with AI, you won't win with AI. And last thing, when you don't have channels who can use the results of AI, and you don't have the touch points to show them to your customer, you won't win with AI. So it's a combination out of data, analytics, and channels. You have to have these three things in mind. And when you have these things clear, you can win with AI. And when you don't have these things clear, you will not win with AI either.
Yeah, I'm absolutely on that sheet of paper, and the speed of light, which is coming with AI, is like in the old days when you have the joke about yesterday we made person by person several mistakes. Now we have computers. Now we do thousands of mistakes a day. Coming to that, and there's a very nice advertising viral going on from one of the large data service companies, which are talking about failure in logistics and how you can get a better golf handicap and how you design your golf stick, Golfschläger. Thank you. That you utilized AI to do a special service, or in the one other case, the logistics, such as, oh, you did the good job on our logistics. And he said, yeah, I used AI. And then you see in the Bahamas or in a southern tropical environment, you see packages of snowboards, which they are unpacking and wandering. Yeah. And that is why I am so on the same sheet of paper, such as if you do not use the smartness to clean your clumsy and shitty data, you will only get, like in the good old days, garbage in, garbage out. Yeah.
It will not solve the problems you have had before.
Bingo. And we have not found the magician. As long as they do a lot of, in this case, advertising and lip service, that they can help you clean your data, but nobody is delivering to its advertising. And this is a criticism I would like to position, such as if one of my most quoted statements is, if you have a lot of dirty, smelly silos of waste, and you get them together in one silo, it's not a chance that it will smell like a perfume. Yeah, you have to. Yeah, you have to do some work on that one.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And another one is, if we see the progress in how artificial intelligence could help in personalization, where would you suggest is the human in the loop needed?
I think it
depends
on the industry as well. When you only need a picture you want to handle as advertising outside somewhere else, you could try and you can use it without any check and human in the loop. When you have an insurance industry which is highly regulated, and you have to be very precise about your wordings and your estimations about the future. Probably it is absolutely necessary to have there, because a mistake there could cost you millions of dollars, euros, or whatever you mean. And I think it depends. So at the industry, on the industry as well, if the man in the loop is necessary and at each point.
Yeah, if there is one needed at all. So artificial intelligence has been sweeping the industry the past couple of years, but very often it seems like it's not quite ready to do the job. How should organizations be investing in it? Are any of them ready to go whole hog into AI, or should they be holding back and seeing how it develops? And where's the benefit?
Some years before, we have had the trend of innovation labs. It is another issue which was coming there, and many companies decided to put this innovation lab separated from the rest of the company. Mm-hmm. They told us, oh, we have a quick small boat and it's very agile and we can do there many fancy things with concerning innovation. But the problem then was how to get this innovation back in the business process you have already in your company. And when we see this in parallel way, we could think about if it is the same at AI. When you have AI at laboratory, it is impressing, but it's not serving you to your business or sales process. And so we are. But I think in all industries, AI can give tremendous support by all these things about questions and answers, service line, hotlines, and these standardized questions. Why are customers calling a service line? They are not calling the service line because they want to do. They are calling because any other process in the company does not work.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So in today's situation, a company, let's be an insurance, there's no reimbursement which was announced, and the repayment of customers does not work. Many customers in the line, and the usage, probably you could solve the problem with the customers by putting 3 questions. And when the customer is giving you an answer, then you have a really clear, okay, this case A, case B, case B3, and these 3 solutions you can give to your customers. This could be done by AI as well. So I think at a standardized way, when many customers are calling with the same question, you can very quickly get a real value by using AI, not only by reducing people. That is not good thinking about for your employees. But here I think for the customer as well, because today the customer is waiting about, the hotlines are depending about 10 seconds to 20 minutes. We have everything available, which we see sometimes more longer. But this handling time could be reduced extremely when you can handle it with IT. And when you will say 80% of our incoming customers are now handling below 30 seconds, that would be a really great approach for your customers. But attention to management is the real problem. Why the customers are calling is not solved. So I see there a bit of danger that when you can handle the mistakes of a company by using an AI agent in service, and you are not solving your real problem, which is a root cause for the cause, you oversee the real point where you should work on.
So it is a warning that product optimization and service optimization does need the overlooking guidance. For instance, that could be a part or an answer for the human in the loop, that you still need fixing the real problems below, the water, just as the peak of the iceberg is looking up, but 90% is below the waterline.
Yeah. Yeah. But here, I think it is the iceberg picture is about the same content, ice below and below the up and up.
Exactly.
In our discussion, we are now handling it is two different things. We have many calls, but we have probably one technical root cause. It is another thing. It is not one customer who is made. So I would be a bit careful in this situation by using the iceberg. But on the outside, I'm fully with you. But probably you can think about how this discussion today would be when you don't invite an author or a guest or a thought leader or something like this, when you invite an AI person. Would it be possible today to have a discussion like this with an AI person, which no real person? I didn't try it.
Not just with an avatar. That is an interesting one. That would be
and I think my assumption would be the answers would be fitting, but very general and not so concrete that you can take it with you and say,
yeah. It is not like Helferlein on Daniel Düsentrieb's shoulder that you see the bulb going on and the magic, what is 3000 volt here if there is no light starting ahead here, then we are right on spot. Where do you think in AI or not AI, what do the customers appreciate when they get a more in-depth personalization?
I think the customer is looking for 3 dimensions: right answer, quick answer, and good feeling. Question is, can you deliver this with AI? Speed, yes. Right answer, getting better. Good feeling, don't know. And many customer, when you asking 1,000 customers, what do you like in your service line when you call them? I think when you have the option of the problem is not there, why I call the service line would be on the top position. So we have discussed before, and then will come, I need a fast and a right solution, because when the agent is very empathic and friendly, but you don't solve your problem, you have not an advantage as a customer. So I would rank the things, the good feeling below, and it's good, the right answer, and the right is the first. Out of my opinion, it is the first one is right, the second is fast, and the third is good feeling. But that would be my prioritization. Probably other customers handle it other way.
Yeah.
And could be that it depends from industry to industry as well. In the medical area, probably time does not take care so much for longer illnesses or something like this. You don't need an instant thing when you have an accident by car. On medical, yes, on the car with an aeroplane, it could be around seconds. And so you see on only this one industry that the dependence on time is quite different depending on the use case you are thinking about.
That's
so my assumption is only general accuracy, speed, accuracy, and good feeling.
You just mentioned a very interesting buzzing trigger running on in my head, such as, can AI help us with customer satisfaction surveys or with getting some more information from the customers, how they really experienced what we created and designed on that journey and we wanted to have as a good experience?
I think there I'm convinced the real challenge is not to get more customer data. That's very well organized. You can do it with so many companies like Qualtrics or Medallia or anything, some else, to collect data. The problem is not to collect faster or to collect more. The real challenge is to get an action based on the feedback you are getting. And that cannot be done by AI. You can get probably recommendations out of it. But the real action has to be taken in your company by structuring, by product, by placement, by time, by service, by processes, or whatever you think. I'm convinced this is quite important issue.
Well, in the interests of time, because we are getting close to the top of the hour, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit and see if we can get all of this topic summed up. How do you see personalization changing over the next 5 years? What should we what should we look out for?
Look for your competitors. Everyone is doing personalization. And when I look on the path for the next 5 years, everyone is talking about personalization. Everyone is talking about AI. You have to do it better than your competitor, and you have to do it better than you have done it before. I repeat my sentence from before, not because I don't have any new ideas, but I think it is quite important and it fits exactly to your question. That is the way it will take. And when you do nothing, you will be behind in 3-4 years. Faster, in 1.5 years.
So it is definitely time to act, not to watch.
It's always time to act, and when you have to react, it's too late.
Wow, that's a statement. That's a really good statement. Yeah. And if I'm allowed, Marshall, to ask in one direction, the thing about the return on investment, do you think that it will have a payoff at least when not a return on invest? And will it take longer than an investment in software?
To implement AI?
Yeah, AI for personalization.
When it is successful, it is not the AI who led to the success. Then it is a combination out of AI, people, approach, habits, goals, tactical way, and the guidance and the governance you have in your company. It is not only AI who will solve the problems, and so the answer will not be answered. The question will not be answered only by the use ROI and AI. Does this lead to this? Not automatically and not a one-to-one direction.
It will also be interesting to see how or if there are regulations put in place to control artificial intelligence. There are a number of calls upon governments to regulate it somehow. Some of that is people being afraid of change, but some of it is very wise in trying to protect us from what can do some very strange things to us.
The regulation like GDPR or other regulations, every country has some regulations depending on where, and probably in some countries industries are regulated in an added special way too. I'm not afraid of regulation, and I think no company should, because when you are in a competitive market, the regulation is the same for you and for all your competitors. So the challenge is to use and to handle this regulation in such an attractive way that the customer is aware this is an authentic relationship I have to this company. I give the opt-ins. I know what happens with my data. I have a value. And on another company, the customer decides, no, here I'm not sure about the value. I don't give them my data. That's okay. I get less service, and when he's talking with his neighbor who has given the opt-ins and probably we would be in contact and you see, oh, what great revenues. For example, let's give us to the ship example from our cruising we have in the middle of our call where we were. When you don't allow the tracking of your activities on board, probably you don't get an offer. And latest, when you are met another family at the bar and they say, whoa, we four were on a horse riding trip in Vancouver for only a third price because I allowed the ship company to track where are my free slots. You can be sure that your neighbor on the table will give the opt-in seconds. Beware of the advantages you can give to your customer, and I understand the customer. No one will give this opt-ins just so in an empty room make everything you want. Well, yes, there are people too, but that is not enough to come to the goals where you want to go.
Well, I would call that a good ending statement. Thanks, everybody who tuned in for being with us this week. Christian, thank you very much for your time and your insight. I learned a lot, and well, there's still more to talk about, isn't there? So we may have to do this again sometime.
Always, customer relationship and customer connection CRM is a never-ending story, and that probably this is why we all love it.
Yeah. Okay, so audience, please tune in next week when we'll be diving into go-to-market, sales, and customer enablement with our guests Nicole Weber-Knight, yes, the wife of our friend Thomas, and Noah Barak. So tune in then, and we look forward to your participation.
Now,
bye.
Take care, and I close the stream now. Please stay with us, Christian.